Hello everyone and welcome back again to the 80s Movie Den. So for this video I just wanted to talk about a few CDs that I picked up at my local record store. It's so awesome going through there. It's very overwhelming. There is a ton of music in there, CDs, cassette tapes, and of course vinyl. There's also a lot of pop culture stuff, Funko Pops, coffee mugs, posters, t-shirts, you name it. They've really branched out from when they first started. They were just vinyl only, but they've branched out to other forms of music, as well as t-shirts and like all the other things that I mentioned. They've really expanded, so they're serving a greater customer base now. So it's really fun to go in there because every time you go in, there's something new to look at. But I picked up 4 CDs, and they were awesome reminders of not only my childhood, but my early adolescence, my first couple of years of high school. So we're gonna get right to it. And we'll start with two CDs that I had as cassettes back in the late 80s that were really influential to me and were really eye-opening. Because until this time, I'd say until the mid to late 80s, I was listening to a lot more poppy music, I guess you could call it. I listened to records on my mom's turntable. As young as maybe 4 years old or 5 years old, I can remember putting records on my mom's turntable and playing records in the house. You know, there were some great albums that my mom had, but there was nothing like really super heavy. It was a lot of like, you know, Styx and Journey and bands like that. Some Elvis, and it was a pretty eclectic mix of music that my mom had. But these records here put it right over the edge for me. We're gonna start with Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. This was a cassette tape when I first had it. The very first time I listened to it, it was a friend of mine from my elementary school who brought it over to my house. I had no idea what it was. He kind of knew a little bit about it. We played it on my cassette player. I remember we were upstairs in our living room, and my parents were downstairs. And he started playing it, and it just blew me away. It was an awesome rock record. There was swearing in the songs, which was the first time I had ever heard swearing in music, which just blew me away. Some of the artwork was pretty controversial and probably not a good thing for me to look at the age of, how old was I when this came out? I think this is 87, 88. So I was about 10 years old. So some of the images on here, obviously I'm not going to show them now, but they were questionable for somebody of my age to look at. But anyhow, the music itself was just incredible. 12 tracks, just a lineup of perfect songs. This is still, in my opinion, this album, this is one of the best debut rock albums of all time. Definitely a top 10, in my opinion. You had Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, Night Train, Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, which is probably my favorite song on the album, Paradise City, My Michelle, Think About You, Sweet Child of Mine, You're Crazy, Anything Goes, and Rocket Queen. They blew up in popularity when this album came out, and just the artwork alone was so cool. So Appetite for Destruction. Another album that really just blew me away, and I had the cassette. I actually bought, my parents bought me the cassette, and it was Def Leppard, Hysteria. Now, when this song came out, again, I was in elementary school. There were, you know, I was in some of the younger grades, obviously. I think I was in grade maybe 5 or 6 when this album came out, maybe 6. And I remember kids in grade 8 walking around with like, you know, denim jackets with like the patch sewn on the back, or they'd walk around with like a Def Leppard like tour t-shirt and stuff like that. And this is another Def Leppard. This is a classic Def Leppard album, and in my opinion, I'll have a little bias behind it because it was the first Def Leppard music I'd ever heard, but Hysteria to me is my favorite Def Leppard album. I also like Pyromania. I used to listen to that at a friend's house as well because he had two older brothers, and his older brothers had some really good stuff. But yeah, Woman, Rocket, Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon It, Gods of War, Don't Shoot Shotgun, Run Riot, Hysteria, Excitable, Love and Affection. This is another classic. Every single song, great to listen to. You don't skip any tracks on this one. And again, the artwork really blew me away of these rock albums, but really nice to have this in the collection. Not easy to find, believe it or not. And when you do find it, it's not cheap. So I was really happy to find that, add it to the collection. And then another classic band from the 80s, Australian, I believe, INXS Greatest Hits. There's 16 greatest hits on this album. The One Thing, Original Sin, What You Need, Listen Like Thieves, Shine Like It Does, Need You Tonight, Devil Inside, The New Sensation, Never Tear Us Apart, Suicide Blonde, Disappear, The Stairs, Heaven Sent, Beautiful Girl, The Strangest Party, and Deliver Me. Awesome album, awesome band. It's unfortunate what happened to their lead singer, Michael Hutchence, but yeah, just a great album. And yeah, music that reminds me of my younger years for sure. Never Tear Us Apart was one of those high school dance slow songs. So, and then another awesome band, a band that I still listen to from time to time. And these were the bands. They were kind of like, I wouldn't call them alternative, but all these bands came out in the early 90s, and the Gin Blossoms fit right in. Really fun album to listen to. The Lost Horizons, Hey Jealousy, that was a radio classic. What do we have? Mrs. Rita, Until I Fall Away, which is another radio classic. Hold Me Down, Cajun Song, Hands Are Tied, Found Out About You, Allison Road, which is probably my favorite song on the album, 29, Pieces of the Night, and Cheatin'. This so reminds me of high school. I spent a lot of time listening to bands like this, the Gin Blossoms, Spin Doctors, the Black Crowes. These were those classic bands. And then of course you had the Seattle grunge scene with, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, all those kind of bands I grew up listening to. Very impressionable growing up, my first few years of high school. And I got introduced to a lot of this music from friends that I made in high school. They had older siblings, or they had just, expanded their horizons musically. And, I was glad I was around all those dudes because they introduced me to some really cool music. So the Gin Blossoms, New Miserable Experience. So that'll do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think of these 4 CDs, if you have them yourself, if you have any memories listening to them in your younger years. And this has been the 80s Movie Den, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.